It's 9:29 in the morning, and you are 1 minute from the open, with $2 billion of someone else's money riding on your judgment. You're 34. Last year, you made $8 million. If you lose 5% this year, not the fund, just you, a risk manager you've never had lunch with will walk to your desk, and by Friday, your badge won't work. This is the hedge fund world. Faster money than private equity, crueler math than investment banking. Nobody here cares where you went to school. There is one number next to your name. It updates every single day, and everyone can see it. Last week, we climbed private equity. Tonight, you're living every level of a multi-strategy hedge fund, the pod shop machine that pays 25-year-olds like CEOs and fires them like seasonal staff. This is the ladder. Let's climb.
You're 23. You survived 2 years of investment banking, the 100-hour weeks, the pitch decks at 4 a.m., and a recruiter just moved you to the buy side. Junior analyst on a pod covering software stocks. Your job sounds simple. Know 20 companies better than anyone alive. Every earnings call, every channel check, every footnote in every filing. Your portfolio manager will ask you at 7 a.m. why a company you cover moved 4% in Tokyo overnight. And "I don't know" is a phrase you get to use exactly once. Here's what nobody tells you on day one. You're not learning to analyze stocks. You're learning to have a view, a precise, sized, time-stamped opinion that costs money when it's wrong. School graded you on being right eventually. This place grades you on being right by Thursday. The gate to the next level? Your PM starts putting real money behind your ideas. When your name is attached to a position, you exist.
26. You're a full analyst now, and your comp has changed species. Base salary is almost irrelevant. You're paid a slice of the profit your ideas generate. A good year, your ideas make the pod 40 million, and your cut lands you $600,000. You're 26. A bad year, your comp is your base, which after taxes and rent in Manhattan feels like a rounding error compared to who you were 12 months ago. And this is where the psychological tax starts collecting. Your P&L is public inside the firm. Walk to the coffee machine after a bad week, and everyone you pass knows your number. The friendships here are real, but they're friendships between people who might have your seat next year. The gate? Consistency. Anyone can have one good year. The machine promotes the ones whose ideas work in 3 different market regimes.
29. Senior analyst. You're the PM's right hand now. Half your job is your best ideas. The other half is quality controlling everyone else's. You get your own sleeve, a slice of the portfolio, maybe 200 million, that trades on your decisions alone. It's the audition for the biggest promotion in this industry. And you start seeing the machine's dark arithmetic up close. The pod next to yours, the energy team, nice guys, kids' birthday parties, goes down 6% in a quarter. On one day, their desks are clean. Not fired for laziness or scandal. Fired by a formula. You tell yourself your process is better. Everyone tells themselves that. The gate to PM. The firm offers you capital, not a raise, capital. The scariest gift you'll ever receive. 32. Portfolio manager. Your name is on a book of $1 to $3 billion, and your employment contract reads like a bet slip. The economics are staggering. Run $1 billion, make 8%, and your pod keeps roughly 20 million of it. You personally clear 5 to 10. There are 29-year-old PMs in this industry out-earning the CEOs of banks.
But read the other clause. Down 5%, your capital gets halved. Down 7, you're done, often that week. The average PM tenure at a pod shop is under 4 years. This is the guillotine that funds the guillotine-sized paychecks. So your life becomes risk management with a stock-picking hobby, position sizing, factor exposure, hedging out everything except your actual idea. You learn to make money in a year the market goes nowhere, because the market went down is an excuse this building does not accept. The gate, survive. 3 years of positive numbers and the machine starts trusting you with more.
36. Senior PM. Your book is 3 to 5 billion now, and you run a team. Analysts, a trader, a data scientist scraping credit card panels for you. You've made more money than your parents earned in their combined lifetimes. And you've stopped telling people at dinner parties what you do, because the number makes the table go quiet. Here's what the outside world never sees: the compounding stress fracture. 14 years of waking up to a number that resets to 0 every January. PMs at this level describe the same dream, the one where the position won't close. Some of the best simply walk away at 40 with 50 million and never look at a screen again. The ones who stay aren't chasing money anymore. They're chasing the only game deep enough to hold their attention. The gate. The firm asks you to think beyond your book, allocating to other PMs, sitting on the risk committee. You're being measured for the tower's top floor.
41. Chief Investment Officer, or partner, depending on the firm's religion. You don't run a book anymore. You run the people who run the books. Your job is brutal in a new way. You are the formula now. You decide which PM gets another billion and which one gets the Friday badge deactivation. You fired people whose weddings you attended. And you collect the industry's strangest paycheck. Equity in the management company itself. The fund charges investors a fixed pass-through of costs plus 20% of profits. And at a $60 billion multistrat, the profit share in a good year is measured in billions, split among a handful of names on the letterhead. Yours is one of them now. The dark cost at this level isn't ours. It's identity. You were the best investor in every room for 20 years. And you'll never place a trade again. Some CIOs quietly keep a tiny personal book, just to feel the weight of it. Most don't admit that out loud. The gate to the summit doesn't open from inside. Like private equity, you jump.
$45. You walk away from $30 million a year to raise your own fund. Everyone says you're insane. You agree and do it anyway. The brutal first truth. Launching a hedge fund is a sales job. 200 meetings with pensions, endowments, sovereign funds. They don't ask about your track record. They ask what happens when you die. Succession, compliance, disaster recovery. You built Alpha for 20 years. Now you're being interviewed about org charts. The second truth. The economics at the top of this ladder dwarf everything below it. A $10 billion fund, up 15%, earns $300 million in performance fees alone, before the management company's fixed take. The founders of the giant multistrats aren't rich the way PMs are rich. They're rich the way small nations are rich. Towers, stadium names, foundations that outlive them. And the last truth, the one every founder eventually says in some form. The money became abstract years ago. What's left is the scoreboard itself, the cleanest, cruelest measure of judgment ever invented, updating every day at 4 o'clock, forever.
The whole ladder. One last look. 23 at the bottom, drowning in earnings calls for $250,000 a year. Mid-40s at the top, owning a machine that prints performance fees. In between, a guillotine that resets every January, friendships with expiration dates, and a number next to your name that never, ever stops updating. Private equity pays you to be patient. This world pays you to be right, today. Would you take the seat? Tell me in the comments which level you'd survive to, and whether you'd rather climb this ladder or last week's private equity ladder. The comparisons get interesting. Next week on the ladder, the strangest money in finance. Venture capital, where you get paid to be wrong most of the time, as long as you are catastrophically right once. Subscribe. The climb continues.